guess what this is? I just call this the Annex. Stay tuned, I'll tell you more. Hi everybody, it's Stephen here for Bland Designs, and today I'm doing vlog number 13, which is April the 10th, Monday, April the 10th, 2017, and you'll notice there's a little different perspective here on the video today. Told you about the glare, and you noticed the glare on my past videos behind me, because I do these on Monday mornings, and the sun comes streaming through my front windows. And those windows do not have a blind on them. All they have are stained glass inserts that Walter had made. And I've tried to get rid of the glare by putting a piece of cardboard over top of them, and they're in an awkward position for that. So I'm trying from a different angle, and I think this will be a little better. There's not as much glare here, whatnot. So now you get to see a different perspective of my craft room. Don't get too attached to this vision behind me, because that's all going to be changed. That's all part of my ongoing project for redoing my craft room, which I got a really good start on it this week. And I have been doing little video clips of my progress, but I'm not going to show those to you until I get the whole room finally done. I've been cleaning out a whole lot of stuff. You wouldn't believe the amount of stuff so far I've taken out of here. I've gotten rid of about 8 to 10 garbage bags already full of stuff, and I've been donating stuff as well, and to my local elementary school that's in the area. And I'm going to say a little bit more about this when I talk about the Annex, which I used as a little teaser at the beginning of this video. So anyways, let's talk about my current projects. Well, I've been spending most of the week working on the craft room, so I haven't done a lot of creative things here. I did get started on my pink shoe, so remember my pink shoe? Well, I've got this part on here. Yes, those are shells. I got them at the dollar store. I've glued them on. I'm going to do the whole shoe in this. This is going to be a beach theme, as I told you. And I'm going to fill in the gaps here with something else. I don't know yet what, and this is going to be a little bit more sparkly. But this is going to take me a while. I'm trying to do this at the same time as clean up my craft room, so things are progressing slowly. But that's okay. So let's see, what else am I going to talk about? Okay, what's pissing me off this week? Alright, you know, I don't want you to get the idea that when I do what's pissing me off this week that I'm constantly pissed off about something. Actually, I'm not, and I kind of have to think hard about what I'm going to put up in this segment. The reason I do what's pissing me off is because I think that's more interesting than hearing about what's making me happy. And this leads me into what I want to talk about what's pissing me off this week. And it has to do with Facebook. I'm sure you've seen it on Facebook. Someone in your contact list sends you this thing. It describes, like, I'm doing an experiment, and I want to see how many of you are truly my friends by responding to this message. And it goes on about something about caring and all this stuff. It's very goopy, very sentimental, and quite frankly, I find it annoying. I won't answer those. I will not acknowledge the fact that I've even read that message, because one, I think people who put those kind of messages up to make themselves feel better have a deeper problem than, you know, just figuring out who their friends are on Facebook. I don't know, maybe I'm a cynical person, but I don't really believe that everybody's ego needs to be stroked on a regular basis, okay? I guess I get that idea from being a school teacher. Over the years, I saw more and more kids coming to the school that were entitled. We weren't supposed to give them any criticism. We weren't supposed to say anything negative to them. If we had a criticism, we had to word it in a more affirmative way. Okay, I get it. You know, I understand kids, all right, I worked with them. And yes, I would never say to a kid, oh my God, that is the worst thing I've ever seen. And I think I've told my story about that, where I actually had an art teacher tell me that. And that did, you know, that influenced the rest of my life, really. So I never tried to say anything like that to a kid. But let's be real, okay? And let's be real with other people. Life happens. Some of it is good. Hopefully most of it is good. Some of it is not so good. We have to look within inside ourselves and handle it, I think, by ourselves. We cannot constantly be dependent upon other people to stroke our egos. Because after a while, the nice things that people may say to you really don't mean anything. Because you've heard all this positive affirmation constantly that it just becomes meaningless. So I don't know. It really annoys me when I see people doing that on Facebook. And I don't respond to them. I simply don't. If I'm going to give someone a compliment, if I'm going to give somebody's ego a boost because I know they're feeling down, then I will do that. And they know that I'm being genuine about it. I'm not just paying them lip service. And I think that means a lot more to some people. So that's what was pissing me off this week. Ego stroking, I guess. If you have a problem with that, I'm sorry. Yeah, let's move on. Okay, so my resource of the week is a site on YouTube, a channel, Melanie Lane, and if you'll just hang on for a second, I'm going to insert here a little thing that I did with that. Okay, so this is Melody Lane Designs YouTube channel. It's a really good channel if you need to know things about how to use your Cricut and how to use Design Space with Cricut. She's got a lot of great tips and tricks on how to do all those kind of things. She also has a lot of things about home decor as well. She just recently moved to Florida, where she's been doing a lot of videos lately showing her adventures in her new retirement village community. It looks very nice. She's associated with Crafts by Two and Ken's Creations, and both of those sites I have reviewed in the past. So really, if you check her out and check out Crafts by Two and Ken's Creations, you get a really full suite of techniques and tricks for using your Cricut and doing electronic cutting. It's a great site to check out, so that's Melanie Lane Designs. Okay, so that was Melanie Lane. And let's move on to product reviews. I mentioned last week in my teaser about a new product that I was going to do a video about for Class Act in Oshawa, and that's some glitter powders from Papericious, a company in India. And I have made the video, and the powders are very good, and I've done a video that shows you how you can use them. So if you want to see that video, all you need to do is go into the YouTube search bar and put in Class Act Oshawa, and you'll see the video for Papericious powders. So I recommend that you check that out. New stuff. Well, I was out looking for some stuff at my local art store that I needed for some more of my abstract paintings, and I came across this. This is a product that I saw reviewed by Craft Test Dummies, which is a great YouTube website and resource as well. And apparently this is by a company called Peebo. They make a lot of paint-related products. They're fairly pricey. I've never really used them before, but I saw this kit. It's sort of a sampler pack, and it's got about 12 colors in it. Shows you that in the side. And apparently you can pour these and you're going to get cells. They call it honeycombs. But I saw on Craft Test Dummies, she was using this with a variety of mediums. She was making some jewelry with it and whatnot. And it looked very much like what I've been doing with pouring acrylic paint, except these ones are all blended so that they'll make those cells. There's not a lot of paint in this. It's a sample pack. I haven't even taken it out yet because I've been working on the craft room. So I'm looking forward to giving this a try and seeing what the results are. It's pricey. It's about $35 Canadian for this sample pack. But we'll see what it does. And I'll let you see the results when I get around to doing it. Okay, what events happened this week? Well, on Friday evening we had RMG Fridays, which is, as I've mentioned this before to you, is a night of entertainment at my local art gallery, where I volunteer. And usually Walter and I are also volunteers that night, and Walter's usually a gallery attendant, and I do nutshell tours. We didn't go this month. Walter got my cold, and I've still got this cold, and it seems like when I start to talk, I'm pretty good today, but on Friday, as soon as I start to speak for any length of time, I start to cough. I'm kind of hacking up along, and I didn't think that would be very impressive for the people in part of the tour. They might want to all put on little face masks or something and spray me down with Lysol. So I bowed out of doing that this past Friday night, and so we didn't do that. I've got a meeting today at the art gallery, and we've got a new display up, as I mentioned last week, and we're having a curatorial talk, which will fill me in on everything that's new there, just in time for the tour I have to give tomorrow. And tomorrow I'm giving a tour. I usually do tours with kids. This is an adult group. They're retired business people from the area. I really don't know what I'm going to talk about, and I think they're there for 2 hours. I know part of the installation that's been there for the last couple of months is still up, but today will be my first glimpse with the new things that have arrived, and I'm hoping that I get enough information that I won't sound like a complete idiot and dummy during the tour I have to give tomorrow. So that's today. And as you know, I mentioned that I've been donating supplies to my local public school. Last Friday I took in a whole bunch of weeded out embellishments, and they seem to be really happy to get those. So I mentioned to them that I might have some other things like paper, and I'm going over there after I finish making this video and dropping off a whole pile more of paper. And so that you'll get a glimpse of that, I'm inserting here a little video I made earlier this morning in another location in my house to show you what I'm donating to the school. So I'll be right back after you've seen that. So you saw in my teaser this morning that I call this area the Annex. Actually, this is my exercise room where I get up every day and do about an hour's worth of walking, fast walking, on my treadmill. But this is also where my overflow goes. Now, I just, believe it or not, cleaned up this room the other day to make room for more stuff from my main crafting room. Now, on this shelf, what I have are all those big clamshell boxes, and they're all labeled, and they have different projects in them, different thematic paper and embellishments and things like that. Eventually, I do have to go through these boxes and sort these things out, because there's some stuff here that are left over from classes I've done that I'll never do again. So I got to weed that all out. These are extra binders and other stuff we store back here. That's everything from light bulbs to, well, you name it, it's here. Extra paper, that kind of thing, some magazines and whatnot. Now, usually, this area is a little neater than this, but this is where I've been throwing temporarily all the stuff that I've been pulling off of my shelves, and when I empty some of my storage bins, I'm putting the empty ones here until I decide to reuse them in the main craft room or just get rid of them. So right now, that's why things are a little piled up in here. You'll also notice that I've got my 2 Rustcog carts in here, whereas before they were in the other room. I've decided that I can use what was on these. One held my Project Life materials, and the other one had some miscellaneous paints and chemicals. So I've brought some of those chemicals and things. They may go back out on a shelf when I find a spot for them, or they may stay in here on the Rustcog. On this one right now, I just have empty baskets and things that I'm using as part of my reorganization. So this will be emptied out. And I have a feeling that these are going to stay out here. And what I might do is I might put some stuff on them that I don't use on a regular basis, but when I want to use them, I can just roll the cart into my craft room and they're there. I just don't have the physical space to have these carts in my craft room. I wish they were low enough that I could slide them underneath my counters, but they're not, even if I took the wheels off, and that would kind of defeat the purpose for sliding them around. So here's where they are for now. But as I said, that could change. Now, I've been giving a lot of things away, and I want to show you what I'm giving away this time. I've mentioned what I did with the public school that's in my neighborhood, and I gave them all a bunch of stuff last week. A whole bunch of embellishments that I weeded out. They seem to be really happy about that. Well, I've weeded out my paper and my stickers, and this bag is full of stickers. This box are paper pads and loose paper, as well as stickers and loose paper up here in this box. And there's quite a few paper pads in here that I've never ever opened. And they were ones I got on sale, like at Winners or things like that, and I thought at the time, well, that was a really good price. But you know, it might be a good price, but if you never use it, that's still money down the tubes. So I also had duplicates because I had so many of these pads. I'd forget which ones I had, and I bought duplicates. So I've pulled the duplicates out, and other papers that I know I'm not going to use. I've put them all in this box, and I'm taking them over to the school. I'm sure that they'll be able to use it in their art program somehow. So anyways, this is what I call now the annex to my craft room. And now you know. Okay, so what's coming up this week? Well, I already mentioned what's going on at the Art Museum. Nothing else really that exciting is happening this week. This coming weekend is Easter, and I don't really celebrate Easter much anymore. When I was much younger, when my father was still alive, when we were all kids and that, my mother always did the big Easter feast kind of a deal and whatnot. Now my brother lives and his family are out in BC. My sister's kids are pretty much all grown up. My father's gone. My mother's living on her own, sort of a thing. Easter, not that big a deal for me either. And I really don't want to get into the religious aspects about Easter because I really don't want to offend anybody. But just to let you know, I am what I call a born-again agnostic, my term. I was raised in a faith-based household to a certain extent, Christian. But to be honest, I really have not darkened the doors of a church in a long time for a whole lot of reasons that I don't anymore. One of them was the stance of my church on my my situation as a gay man. And also, over time, I've really started to believe, and here I don't want to offend anybody, I do believe in spirituality, okay? I just don't believe in organized religion. I really feel that organized religion has caused a lot of the problems that we have in our world today. I really do. I'm sorry if that offends you, but that's my belief. However, I do believe in spirituality. I do believe in a higher supreme intelligence. That's why I'm an agnostic, not an atheist. And, you know, I believe religion is something that's personal for people, and it exists at all levels. So whatever you believe in, I think is fine. As long as it doesn't harm anybody else, as long as it gives you support and brings happiness into your life, and you can bring happiness to other people, that's all that matters. So enough said about that. So Easter, not a big deal this weekend. So, anything else? Nope. I'm going to carry on with getting my craft room up and going. And, yeah, I'm kind of excited about it, cleaning out a lot of this stuff. It feels like a real spring cleaning happening here. Okay, until next week, I hope you have a good week. Have a good Easter weekend. And we'll talk to you probably next Monday. Bye-bye.